How do you make a small venue truly look great? Hi, I'm David Henry from Learn Stage Lighting. And on this channel, we like to talk about making amazing lighting, whether it be for band, church, DJ, theater, production company. No matter what you're doing, there are things that you can do to make your lighting amazing. And it often doesn't involve buying more stuff. And today, I want to talk about how to make a small venue look great. I mean, amazing. Like, to make your small venue, whether it's a church, a club, some sort of venue that bands play, a small theater, when it comes to it, making a small venue look great has some really unique challenges. But when you work through those challenges, there are some huge upsides to working in a small venue that I also want to cover here. And so in this video, we're going to cover the biggest challenges that small venues have, and then at the end of the video, talk about the biggest pluses that working in a small venue gives you. When it comes to challenges, when you work at a small venue, sometimes it feels like there's nothing but challenges, right? Whether it doesn't matter what type of venue it is, when it's a small venue and it doesn't have a ton of seats, this generally means that you're not going to have as much budget as those bigger productions, right? You might look out at things in magazines, at people's shows online and services and things like that, and go, gosh, I could never do anything like that. We simply don't have the budget, okay? Other things with small venues. Oftentimes, you have low ceilings, right? You know, a ceiling above a stage, especially when you've risen the stage up, but the ceiling's not any higher than over the audience. It can be dicey, right? You can be at 8 feet above a stage. You can be at, 10 feet, 12 feet, whatever. And ultimately, vertical space is something that we often can use in lighting to make things look a lot better, and you don't have it, right? When it comes to small venues, sure, it can feel like the challenges are insurmountable. Another one that you run into is overhead rigging, hanging things from the ceiling. Oftentimes, you simply can't do it. It's non-existent. You don't have the money to bring somebody in to do it, etc., etc. Okay? And that really stinks, right? Because then you're resorting to maybe some crank-up stands or some truss towers or, T-bar stands at the corners of the stage. Behind the stage, you've got things getting in people's way, right? Working in a small venue can be really difficult. But it's got its perks too, okay? And so one of the biggest perks about a small venue is that you can get away with smaller lights and get a great show. When you're working in a small venue, and I'm purposefully not putting a size on this, but let's say, up to, 300 people-ish, right? Anywhere from, 50, 25 people to 300. I know that's a big range, but the principle's the same, that you don't need as bright or as large of a fixture to be able to punch, to be able to look great in that space. This can be really huge, right? Because ultimately, smaller fixtures that aren't as bright cost less. When your stage is not as wide or as tall as another space, to fill that space with interesting lighting takes less lights. Hey! This is so good, right? And not only that, but when it comes to budget, you're buying less expensive lights. You need less of them. So even though it doesn't feel like you have much budget, when you do buy something, you often can make it last for a really long time and get a lot of uses out of it because the space isn't that big, okay? And so I want you, if you work in a small church venue or anything else like that, to, not despair. So stop comparing yourself to bigger venues and people that have larger budgets than you. Because in our next videos, we're going to talk about how to make a small venue look great. And I'm going to show you in the next 3 videos some really simple tips and tricks that I love to use that can save you money and make a small venue really pop and really look great. And I'm also going to tell you what to look for in some lights when you're buying stuff for a small venue, what to watch out for, etc. So if you like this video, be sure to subscribe here. Give this video a thumbs up, and most importantly, head over to learnstagelighting.com and grab your free guide to begin with lighting. You guys are my kind of people. I love helping people who are just starting with lighting, and that free guide is going to get you started. Thanks so much, and we'll see you guys next week here on the channel.